Hello and welcome back to the Babenbergs. Now is a time of celebration because we have got a second county. This means that effectively our potential resources have doubled. Now, actually that's not true, but in theory they've doubled. However, there are a few differences between these provinces which mean that this second province is worth a lot less than our first. The first thing is that our first province has a city holding. That means that this guy right here, Mir Wenzel, if I go and have a look at subjects, he is paying us 0.2 tax per month. He's giving us 9 levies, which is almost nothing. But the 0.2 tax per month is quite nice, given how much money we're making, right? So we don't have that on the second holding, because there's no city. And in case you're wondering what's up with the temples, and like how does that affect things, that goes into this guy's income that he gives us, and he's currently giving us 0 income, because he doesn't like us. Now, maybe we should make him like us now that we have a couple of different temple holdings, because then he'll start paying us some money, but currently, it's not changed how much we're getting, so we're currently getting 0 from that. Which means that we're effectively only looking at the castle holdings here. This castle holding currently has very lowered control, which means that we're not getting a lot of taxes in it, and capitals cheat. By that I mean, if we have a look here, realm capitals get an extra +1 tax, which means that this holding isn't going to have that +1 tax, so it's going to be even further behind. So we have potentially doubled our resources, but we haven't, right? We've kind of probably got 50% more resources, but anyway, it's still great. It's more land that we didn't have before, it's more land that our enemies don't have, it's fantastic. Except that there's some more issues with it. The second issue is in relation to what will happen with it if we die. So, let's go and have a look at succession. Now, we have a variant of partition, and we've mentioned this before. Partition basically splits your land up, which means that that bit of land that we just got will go to Eckhard von Babenberg. Now, the usual way that you would fix this issue is you would get a duchy. Now, the only land that we hold any the only duchy that we hold any land within is the Duchy of Bavaria, which just so happens to be our liege's title. And this means that there are 2 things which are blocking us from being able to create a duchy right now. The first is that you cannot usurp a title belonging to your liege, which is fair enough, they're your liege. The second is you cannot usurp a title of the same or higher tier than the primary title of your liege, which yeah, again, fair enough. If you had a duchy title, they would not be your liege, and they would definitely want you to continue being their vassal. So, yeah, 2 major issues here. That means that the only way we're going to get a duchy is if we can somehow defeat this person and take his land. I don't even know if we have a war that we could declare that would work here. No, we can't do an independence faction because he's not independent. We don't have any claims. We can't do a disillusion faction because he's not independent. We could do a liberty faction to lower crown authority, but that doesn't change who our liege is. So, effectively, right now, we have 0 ways of removing Duke Otto from power, which means our land will split upon succession. And, as you may remember, we have 4 sons. So that means if we get 4 holdings, they will be split between our 4 sons. So, in theory, the only way that we can get any amount of additional land upon succession is if we get 5 holdings. So say we held Bunchen, Frontenhausen, and Passau, that would then allow us to have 2 holdings on our main, on our primary heir, but the rest of the land's still going to be split up. So that's a problem. I don't think that Otto is going to find a solution, because Otto is currently 40 years old. My potentially outdated way of working out when we should start thinking about succession seriously is if a character hits the age of 50 and they have no positive or negative health modifiers, then I kind of feel like you should be expecting them to die at that point. Not necessarily that they're going to drop dead immediately, but if a random disease comes in, it's probably going to be enough to knock you down to the point where your character is going to die. So it's not ideal, our current situation. But the reason why I bring it up is we're about to think about who we want to marry our son to. And we need to think about it from the perspective of our son is going to be taking over a singular county. So how can we make our son's life as easy as possible? Also, how can we make our grandson's life as easy as possible, right? Because there's a chance that we don't fix this in our son's generation, but if our grandson comes in with fantastic stats or he's got a good claim or something, there's a chance we can fix it from that point of view. So, let's have a look at Otto von Babenberg and figure out what exactly we're going to do with you. So, also, before I move on from this whole talking about lands point of view, because our son is only going to inherit one piece of land, what we want to do is we want to pick our best piece of land, which actually looking around these ones here, is either Frontenhausen, if we want to conquer it and then build some extra bits in it, or it's Rothenburg, so it's probably going to be Rothenburg, and we want to upgrade it as much as possible to make it more valuable than the other pieces of land, because it's the only one that's going to stay with us. Anyway, Otto von Babenberg, let's try and find somebody for you to marry. Now, he's got reasonably good intrigue, and he's got an intrigue education, so potentially, if we can find a good way for him to marry somebody who we can put in charge of some land, that could be a good way out of the situation. We could potentially have our grandchild inherit a duchy title, which would mean that if we died and our grandchild inherited our lands, they would be a duke, so they would get to keep the land and the duchy and be independent of the Duke of Bavaria. So, potentially some good stuff here. Anyway, let's do some filters. So, let's say that I don't want to marry anyone who's 10 years out, so that's 6 to 26. Fair enough. I don't care about them being an adult right now. We have 4 sons. We're not worried about succession. We're not worried about having an heir. If Otto has no children, like if this Otto has no children, it's absolutely fine. He has 3 brothers. There's going to be no issue with succession. Let's see. Health. We might as well just pick healthy, just because it eliminates a few characters who might be on their way out. Let's say that we only want to marry within Catholicism. So that takes out about 100 characters. Cool. Let's say, just seeing what else we've got in here. Let's say I want to find, is there anyone with a pressed claim? Let's just have a look at these 2 first, and then see what we got. So we have Rocca de Hauteville. So you have a claim on the Duchy of Apulia. So that is down here in southern Italy. Although I think it's the Kingdom of Sicily here. Yeah, Kingdom of Sicily. Okay. In fact, it's all of this land. Alright. So, you have a pressed claim on that. What's the succession law over here? Succession law for this is male preference. That's okay, we can work with that. And why do you have a claim? You have a claim because your parent held it. And your parent was the brother of the current person who holds it. But the current person who holds it has 7 children. My god. So he's got 7 children, 2 siblings, and then you're in line. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Because she'll be after all of the children and after the siblings, and then the sibling has 4 children, so it's going to be after them. Yeah, so she's way out there in terms of succession. Like, in fact, wait a second. Why did he inherit? No, I'm going back to this. Why did he must not have inherited. Let's see. Title history? He did inherit. So why did he inherit that land? So he inherited the duchy. But why? Because your parent is Drogo. Your parent is this person. You then must have taken over after. Like, Humphrey took over after? Yeah, Drogo, Humphrey, Robert. Is because these are prior to the game starting. so they didn't follow the game's succession rules. That's why this has happened, because it's prior to the game starting. So that's what happened in real life. And real life didn't follow the game's succession rules. Okay. So she has a pressed claim, but realistically, unless we're going to go and press her claim, which is an option, like, it's not something that's usable, right? Because they've got 4,800. They're currently attacking the Basilios and conquering of this land here. So I think that if we were to marry Rocca, what we could potentially do is we could potentially launch a war with Bohemia to try and take that land away. You're allied to only one outside of your land who has 255. Okay. So we would have more troops. So we could potentially marry Rocca and then in this life press her claim on that land, making her Duchess. Yeah, that could potentially work. And then that would mean that my son's son would be in line to that title. However, I bet I can't... No, I can't press her claims because it's male preference. Yeah, so I can't even press her claims because it's male preference. What I would have to do is I would have to make it so that a child or a woman is in charge. So someone like Roger being in charge, then I could press the claim. So what we're saying is to use her claim, it would be a murder of Robert. It would then be pressing her claim against Roger. So he would have to die within these next 5 years. Then we could press the claim. And then if we win the war, then we could have her in charge of that. And then on the next generation, we could potentially be in charge of this land. It's a little bit far out, I think, in terms of like a way to get land. I think that that's probably not within Otto's skill set. Yeah, he's not really very good at murdering people. I mean, I know we did murder somebody, but it'll take a bit too long. And I think we'd probably end up having to murder like multiple. I think we'd have to murder Roger and Guy and probably get down to like, yeah, someone else. Oh, also, I just feel... Wait, why are you not first in line? Yeah, wait a second. Why are you not first in line? Oh, you've been disinherited. Oh, okay. So it would probably be murder Robert, Roger, and Guy. Then have Emma inherit and... Oh, she can't inherit. She's deemed disinherited. Why is everyone disinherited? So we'd have Matilda inherit, and then we would press our claim against her. So I think it's 3 murders and a war. I think this is going to take too long. Anyway, you have a claim on the Earldom of Cornwall. Now, it's really far away. It doesn't really get us anything. Is she in line to succession at all? No, not at all. In fact, the current Earl of Cornwall doesn't appear to be related to her in any way. Let's have a look here. Yeah, they're different houses, so yeah. Okay, so her claim would be, we get it and then we press a claim against England, which I don't think is happening. They're currently pretty weak, but they're only pretty weak because they're in, like, multiple wars. I think once that gets settled, they'll be pretty strong. Okay. So I don't think we're doing anything with press claims. We have no any claims. Okay. So let's just go with all here. So realistically, we're not going to be able to press a claim, right? It's just not going to work that way. So what do we want to do? We could try marrying for a trait. See who what traits we've got here. We've got 18 traits. Okay. A lot of fecund. Which makes sense, because fecund is the one that increases fertility. So it makes sense there's a lot of fecund around. 1 intelligent. Intelligent is pretty good. Let's say that I want them to be of a dynasty. Yeah, let's say I don't want to marry a lowborn. Not lowborn. There's nobody who's not lowborn who would marry. Any unhealthy ones? Nope. Wow. Okay. Well... Alright then. So if we want an inheritable trait, we're marrying lowborn. Yeah, I don't really want to do that. So, we could do the other thing that I was wanting to do with marriage, which was potentially look at people who we've already got connections to and then see if we can marry into their families. I did actually see on that list that we can marry into the Babenbergs. You know what? Let's go back to our son. Let's find spouse. Let's get rid of inheritable traits. Let's maybe sort by prestige gain. So you would give me the most prestige? Why? Marrying into House Prindane? Oh, Dynasty Prindane. Oh, okay, which is Brittany. Ah, okay, I see. Just curious. Okay. Yeah, I noticed that we have you. Which Babenberg are you related to? So your father held land which is in Minden. Up here. Oh wow, so you're like very, very off into the distance. You were also previously married to the Count of Lüneburg. You have a claim on the unpressed claim on the Margrave ship of Austria and Steiermark. Okay. Steiermark in here. Who currently holds Steiermark? Margrave Otakar. Now his primary heir is 16, but his heir is 6. So it's 2 murders and a war, and we could potentially get her in charge of Steiermark. Okay. That's interesting. I thought I looked for people who had unpressed claims. Did I not look for unpressed claims? Are they not showing up? Any claim. That's weird. Yeah, so if you go any claim, she doesn't show up. But she quite clearly has claims. She has 8 claims. Huh. Am I misreading that? Claims. Yeah, okay, I guess it just doesn't work. Well, I quite like that idea of marriage. Yeah, she's not particularly special in other ways, but she does have, like, some good claims. Let's go with that. I like the Babenberg marriage here. And they're not even close enough as Babenbergs to have any negative congenital traits. Fantastic. Right. Eckhard, son. So, yeah, the other thing I wanted to do, as I was saying before we got distracted by the Babenberg one, so I want to try and marry into houses that we're getting connections to. So we already have a connection to Kaiserslautern through us and Kuno. We don't have any connections to the Renhards up here. Renarts. You're already betrothed. I was going to say, could we marry one of our sons to Christina? Nope. Okay, so no connections there. You, random person, who I think was also educating... You must have been educating one of my sons, right? Yeah, or maybe my nephew. You have no family at all, though, so... Yeah, wait, could I invite you to court? No. Alright. Corinthia? You got anybody unmarried? Nope. Yeah, and then we're back down into this list. Oh yeah, anyone in Bohemia who we can marry our sons to? You're betrothed. That's unfortunate. Yeah, you have way too many sons, unfortunately, for us. Also, my friends, over here, you have a son? Everyone has sons. Okay. I do have a niece who could potentially marry one of the, yeah, one of the sons here. My niece is 7. Okay. So she could potentially marry Prince Vladislav. Would not accept. Why? Relative close family tiers. Oh, because they would be inbred because they're too close. I see. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright then. Well, I guess I'm going back to the find a spouse finder. Okay. So we'll stick with this. Let's try and find you good alliances. So you could get an alliance with the County of Nassau up here. It's not fantastic, but it could do. And the Earldom of Wiltshire. That's too far away. Let's go with you. I think you're reasonable. That gets us a marriage. They're only very slightly on the edge of it. So I think that's fine. Yeah, let's get that one done. So she's second in line. So if we were to kill you, she would be first in line. But, well, maybe you have to kill Wiltshire as well. But yeah, she's potentially in line to that county. Okay. Bernard, you're already betrothed to Adelheid here. Okay, of Innsbruck. Arnold is unmarried. Okay. Alliances that Arnold can get. So he actually has more options, apparently. So he could get one with Innsbruck, but we already have an alliance with Innsbruck. County of Finn up here. We have Turok down here. And then we have Wiltshire, which is too far away. So how strong is Finn? Not strong. You're not strong either. Okay, so I think actually with Arnold, I might marry him for an inheritable trait. So let's come out of here. Let's say I don't care about alliances. You can have an inheritable trait. Cool. And you... you can probably marry this intelligent person. Right. Let's arrange that marriage. And then, if I head down here, I have my niece who is unmarried. Let's sort by all. I think we would want to marry for an alliance here. Let's go for... Oh, yeah, let's go for all here. Okay. If I said that the child instead? No. Okay. So everyone's way out here. Alliance power. Best we're getting is like 580. I think we wait on our niece. There we go. And that's fine. And then, yeah, we're not going to marry our... yeah, we're not going to marry our... I was thinking how he's related to us. Grandnephew, I guess. Cool. Okay, I know that was a little bit of faffing about through all of the like marriage windows, but I think it was still worth doing. Okay, cool. That is us with some more marriages in there. So, let me just confirm. Son married, second son betrothed, third son betrothed, fourth son betrothed. Okay, they've all found someone to marry. Right. Gessenhausen, we are currently increasing control in. We have a choice here. I want to probably get another claim, because I would quite like to get either München or Frontenhausen. Are we going to wait for the truce on Frontenhausen and just attack them again, or do we want to go for München? The question would be, if I get a claim on München, would I press it immediately? I think so, because they're only allied to Frontenhausen. Yeah, and it would take away an ally from them. So I think that would be worth doing. And you are House Formbach, who we do have a feud against, so you know what? Yeah, let's do that. You're currently increasing control in... Where? In Roth... Yeah, you're doing it in here, but that's because we're not going to make any money. You're making fellow vassals like us. Yeah, I think we're good to go, actually. Yeah, let's unpause. Let's go speed 5 for a little bit. Right. We're also going to look for opportunities to go to other things, like this, potentially. Which I won't get to in time. I guess I should zoom out. Oh, I've been invited to a hunt? Fantastic. Oh, pause. Feud. Shared enemies. I've been mulling over a strongly worded letter I received from my kinsman, Margrave Ernst, this morning. He has laid out his firm wish that our entire house make express enemies of the Formbach dogs. I cannot defend Heinrich's reciprocated rivalry with Ernst. What of the risks to our families? I cannot refuse him, or this will get us nowhere. I cannot refuse him. Okay. Heinrich has created a liberty faction against Duke Otto of Bavaria. And we can go to Duke Otto's hunt. Sure. I don't need a mountaineer and I don't need a forest guide. No, I do need a forest guide. Okay, I was mistaken. Yeah, okay. Let's join his hunt. Sure. Been set an intent. My intent could be to murder someone. I don't know who else is there. But we could try and murder... I'm assuming my fellow vassals are going to be there. Could try and murder Count Heinrich of Fontenhausen, I suppose. Yeah, he's negotiating an alliance with München, so that would get rid of that. And through Berthold II, he has an alliance with... through Berthold of Innsbruck and Countess Sophia of Innsbruck. And Countess Sophia and Berthold. Apparently that's how he has an alliance with Innsbruck. You're Gertrude. Why does he have an alliance? I don't know, it's probably... cousin? No? Wait a second. Why does he have an alliance? I'm gonna have to go to Countess Sophia. Your Countess Sophia of Formbach. Is this the alliance existed at the start of the game, so the alliance exists here? Because I don't see a connection back. Let's go Dynasty Tree. Yeah, I don't really see how the dynasty connects. I go back a generation. Okay, it's cousin. Okay, fair enough. So that's why they have a connection. So if he died, then her alliance with these guys would be non-existent. So we could go into it from murder intent, which would be okay, I suppose. We did just agree to do more against him. Yeah, maybe I do murder intent against... Why was it got an X? May not arrive in time. Oh. Okay. Against him, if that's alright. Right. Let's go. Fresh start. Oh. Close that. Also, we'll move this to the side for a second. Yeah, I want you to get me money. I don't really want you to get me whatever that is. Yeah, that's fine. Heresy in Capua. Duke Richard of Capua has announced to the world that he and his vassals have converted to Coptic. Having become disillusioned with the teachings of the Catholic priests, the nobles of Capua no longer consider the clergy to be righteous and true and are distancing themselves from their former religious institutions. They are instead professing themselves Copts, whose doctrines they feel better align with God's will. I don't think I want to convert. I don't think that's a good path for us. Just in terms of survival. Okay. As we await the arrival of the rest of the guests, Duke Otto has started on the preparations. His gamekeepers check the woodlands each day for signs of quarry while building a camp closer to the hunting grounds. I've checked my gear and horse many times, it won't be long now. Count Heinrich remains totally unaware of my plan to murder him. That's good. Some people are converting, so that's Benevento converted. Okay. Did Heinrich turn up? Does it say everyone? Yep, everyone's here. Fantastic. Well, let's see how this goes. Duke Robert converted. Ah, interesting. We were looking at him earlier. Good prospects. Count Otto assembles the party as the sun rises over the camp in the forest near Unschmunster. The local gameskeepers have scoured the vicinity for recent tracks and fumes. There is clearly a small roebuck nearby, but no recent traces of larger game. Ultimately, Duke Otto decides he wants to hunt a roe today. Okay, also I'm just wondering something. I know the Pope can give you claims. Could we get a claim on his title? If the Pope liked me and I wasn't a murderer? Yes. Alright, so that might be a way to get a claim on the Duchy of Bavaria. However, I am a murderer, so... yeah, that's a problem. Okay. Carrying on. Cornering the row. My fellow vassal, Count Ulbrich, is the first to spot its bounding legs. The prancing buck is hard to distinguish, but there's no doubt it's there, observing us through the dense trees. Duke Otto takes after the beast, crying, "Come, it's getting away." We're going to try and corner it with a spear. Alright. Cornering the row. We can hardly keep up with the blasted beast as it darts and weaves through the leafy bushes, barking wildly. Scaling a rise and disappearing into a dense thicket, the row is gone as quickly as it appeared, with only panting dogs and sweaty horses to show for it. The damn thing is gone. It failed. Okay. And we didn't get to murder this guy. Okay. Count Heinrich gathers the disappointed party and exhausted hounds for the trip home. Yeah. Okay, we failed to kill him. But we did get some hunter experience, so we do now have the trait hunter, which is nice. People like us a little bit more. We've got some prowess. But, yeah. Did not manage to murder our target because it didn't give us any options to. And now we're inside again. Wonderful. Okay. Oh yeah, we can pardon Kuno for scheming against me. I'm not going to do that, but we could. We could also create an accolade, but I'm also not going to do that because we need the... yeah, we don't have the prestige to do it, and we need prestige to press claims. So, yeah. A plague known as Satan's Fire is here. Alright, it's in the north though. It's not coming down our way, at least right now. My spy master has come to me with grave news. While we do not yet know who, somebody is plotting to kill my nephew Heinrich. I have a good idea who it is. It's probably Hildegard. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Eckhard comes of age. And our son Bernard has learned the Saxon language. That's good. So Eckhard, I'm proud to see my son no longer as a child, but as an adult. As an active and enthusiastic child, it is no surprise that Eckhard has done well in his studies of war and combat. He has shown great aptitude both in battle tactics and in management of armies. He'll make a fine commander one day, I'm sure of it. So he's a skilled tactician and aggressive attacker. Actually fantastic. I mean, our first son, Otto, is not really a good military leader, so having Eckhart be a good military leader is fantastic. We have somebody to lead our armies. Yeah, it's good. Our ward got 1 extra learning. Eckhard looks alright. I mean, the stats aren't amazing, but they're fine. In 4 years, he will marry. Alright, that does look like Satan's Fire is moving a little bit, but not coming anywhere near us. Okay, cool. Speed 5? Let's move on. The Chaos of Battle. A sword strikes against my chest plate, an elbow slams into my helmet. A soldier easily avoids my clumsy counter. The mock battle rages around me, but I struggle to find my focus. I'm tempted to let my guard down as soon as the fighting lulls, but I know the second assault is about to start. So I meet it head on. We get martial lifestyle experience. Chance I get showed vigor, chance I get wounded, or I must withdraw. I need to lower my stress, so I'm going to have to withdraw. My spy master has come to me with a discovery. He is certain that my knight, Tassilo, is scheming against my nephew, Heinrich. Tassilo? I'm afraid, Tassilo, that you are going to be thrown into jail. Because, well, you're just a knight. I don't know what I'm going to do with you, though. Do I execute you? No, because apparently that would stress me out. Alright, Tassilo, I guess you're going to, stay in jail. For now, then. We'll see where that goes. Child of my dynasty. My son, Otto, my player heir, has a grandson he would like to call Otto, who is stupid. Well, I'm not a huge fan, obviously, but you can call him Otto if you want to call him Otto. Okay. Well, it's fine. You want me a claim on Munchen? Fantastic, great work. Okay, so now we have a claim. Now we just need a bunch of prestige to press it. Although I could press it right now and just take the fame penalty. It's only 100 fame. How much is 100 fame? It's like nothing. Yeah, I mean, I could just do that. I don't really see a reason not to. You've got 900 troops between you. I've got 1,000 on my side. We could call in Bohemia if they're not busy. Are they busy? They don't seem busy to me. Yeah, I think I do this. I think I I think I press this claim. I think this makes perfect sense to me. And it gets us further in our feud. Oh, and Innsbruck might join if we wanted them to. I guess I would lose more prestige by inviting them in. But, yeah, I guess I'm only going to invite Bohemia in. But they are the best ones to invite. So I'm trying to look for where my rally point is. Apparently it's here. I just can't see it. Anyway, whatever, I'll do this. That's fine. He's joined. Fantastic. Is this our best holding to sit in? It's all plains. I'm going to move up to this forest again. I'm kind of assuming they're going to call Frontenhausen in, but they haven't actually done that yet. Ah, there we are. Yeah, I was right in my assumption. We could have our son lead, although his advantage is pretty bad because his martial skills pretty bad and he isn't leading his own soldiers with chivalry focus. It's okay. We'll just wait for Bohemia. I don't see a reason for us to make the first move here. Like, we know that our allies will be here soon and they'll win us the war, so we'll just wait. Alright, I'm going to go to Friesling here. Okay, they're running. I'm going to go to their capital and we're going to start sieging. And Bohemia is going to win the war for us. Actually, yeah, we'll stay here and siege. Fantastic. So they're going to win this battle and we'll do the sieging. And I bet they have some siege units as well. They would like to supply us. They do have siege units, however, they're not going to give us them for the war. Okay. Level of Splendor has gone up for our dynasty. That changes the amount of prestige you get when you're born into the dynasty and when you marry in. And your long reign bonus. So I think it maybe affects the willingness for them to marry into your family due to the prestige gain, but anyway. I've been appointed Master of the Hunt. Oh, cool. Does that come with anything? Like, income? Income from court positions, 0.1. Nice. Do we get any prestige from it? Yeah, we do not. No. Okay. Well, that's fine. Actually, we could look at our own Master of the Hunt to see what you can get, right? Effect on Master of the Hunt. Monthly martial lifestyle experience, hunter trait experience gain, and increased success in hunts. Fantastic. So we should be able to have a look at our martial stuff here and see that we are now getting an extra 10%. Nice. Okay, we've already got promising prospects. Loyalty and respect. I don't think we need that one. Don't need knight effectiveness right now. I don't think we need any of this. Do I go prepared conscription maybe into absolute control, trying to get as much money out of our territory as we can while we have it? I think that seems good. Yep. Okay. And Bernard comes of age. I am proud to see my son no longer as a child, but as an adult. Despite having more than his fair share of experience with lying as a child, Bernard always found it difficult to apply that kind of creativity in any structured fashion. While he has shown himself fully capable of petty scheming, few would call it refined, but refinement is not always what you need. He's a flamboyant trickster. And my ward Siegfried has come of age. Siegfried's energetic nature was thought to be a sign of affinity for war and combat, but perhaps it was simply unruliness. He has only developed a basic understanding of the subject, but at least he has learned the essentials of managing an army. I can only hope the rest will come with experience. So he's no longer a ward, but he is a tough soldier and a forder. Alright. Let's go back to his parent here. That's fine. Yeah, and I guess we're just going to siege. They're using the siege units on that siege there, which is not ideal for us, but that's okay. Bernard von Babenberg has returned to our court. Now he's finished his education. Okay. And these are betrothals? Betrothed can marry. So Bernard can marry Adelheid, which we'll say yes to. Yeah. It's reasonable. So that's our alliance with Innsbruck. The second one is Kuno, my half-brother, can marry Walpurga, which is Sigurd's daughter, which we will accept. Wonderful. Right. Back to our sieging. Hey, we've taken Frontenhausen as a siege. Spouse, investments in Rothenburg. My lord, it's come to my attention there is a rare opportunity to invest in the county of Rothenburg. My wife, Haziga, draws up the details for the business investment, and it does indeed look as if the deal could benefit Rothenburg greatly if successful. So it's a risk worth taking, so 75% chance we get successful business endeavors, which is 5% holding taxes, 5% development growth. So, just to put that in context, 5% tax is nothing, so that's not worth even considering. And 5% development growth is 5% of, like, so that'll be 0. So yeah, it'll be 1.2, so like 5% of 1.2, which is, again, almost nothing. Cool. What's the negative? Increased control growth, increased development growth, but lowered control growth. Control growth might not matter at all to us, though. Yeah, currently we're 100 control and there's no negative, so it doesn't matter what our increase is. Okay. So this is no risk for minor reward. Increase control by 15 to lose 15 gold. This is like minus 15 gold for nothing because we're already at 100 control. Or 150 prestige. And we're negative 660 prestige. I'm going to take the prestige. I can't see how anything else would be the correct answer there. Hildegard is dead. She died under mysterious circumstances. She was murdered by my nephew Heinrich. We can all say it. I'm going to put my dynasty member in charge being my caravan master. She's good at it. Seems like a good choice. Wonderful. Right. Strategical impasse. I'm sitting around the map table with Mayor Wenzel and Heinrich discussing our strategy for the ongoing war. Wenzel bangs his fist on the table and loudly proclaims we should charge the enemy directly and crush them with sheer might of our armies, while Heinrich explains how we need to watch what our foes do and respond accordingly. It is my right to decide our ultimate course of action. So we can go for improved offense, which increases the amount of casualties we cause them. Okay. And Heinrich would be unhappy. We can go improved maneuverability, which increases our army movement speed and lowers the enemy defensive advantage, which will make Wenzel unhappy, or I can let them both choose whatever they want, and it won't change either of their opinion. Actually, it will just increase their opinions of me. Sure, I'm going to choose the bottom option, because neither of them affects us in the war. I no longer have a wet nurse, but that's because I no longer have any children of my own, I think. So it's no longer eligible. I'm proud to say my son no longer as a child, but as an adult, always the curious and knowledge-hungry child, Arnold has shown an affinity for scholarship in an early age. An avid learner, has become quite the purveyor of knowledge and has proven himself to be fully capable of structuring advanced theoretical and theological arguments. I just realized something. I maybe should have simply asked him to take the vows. Yeah, I probably should have done that, and then I would have got rid of a child. I could break the betrothal and do that, I suppose. He is zealous, but he's also lustful, so he might not want to. I'll let the marriage go through, but it's something to think about when we have so many sons. I should have maybe disinherited a few. Count Heinrich has been excommunicated. Oh wow. Okay, cool. That's fun. Hey, 100% war score. We captured a prisoner who is probably worth war score. He is. Fantastic. I'm not going to use him for that. I'm going to use him for 10 gold. I'd also like to use you for 10 gold. Yes, so second son will also get 10 gold for you. And then we will press our claims after that. This is our granddaughter. Our granddaughter shall be called Theodelinda? Sure. Why not? Right, let's enforce our demands. So we get the county of München, and we also get the city of Wolfratshausen. Alright. Cool. That all seems fine to me. Yep, do it. To the spineless Otto, may your humours rot in your living body. You are a much greater foe than I imagined. In order to put an end to this bloodshed, I will comply with your demands. Also, my legitimacy has just gone up to rightful, which is even more little bonuses for us, which is cool. Yeah, good. Disband, and we are still winning against Formback after that, which is great. Okay. Awesome. Do I have a reason to declare war on you now that you're being excommunicated? No. Okay. Thought I'd have a look. It's fine. The Holy Roman Boils are down here. Yeah, they're not going to reach us. We're a little inland, so, and they appear to be going around the coast. You're no longer employing me as Master of the Hunt, which means you just took a 200 prestige penalty to revoke that from us. Which I'm not a huge fan of, but anyway. Mental break, dark thoughts. Guilt and shame have been plaguing me of late. All of my sins, my flaws, my failings. These dark thoughts distract me from my responsibilities and keep me awake at night. I feel like I must do something to put an end to this mental anguish, but what could possibly help? Nothing, because we are not going to drink, because drinking could cause us to die. And we are not going to be improvident, because I don't want to reduce our income. So, pretty straightforward there. How much is this going up without our... yeah, without this. It's going up by 0.5, 0.7 overall. I think I might... Yeah, I'm going to put my person over here to increase control in this one. Because I think that this will increase faster than this one. Yeah, which it will, without having the marshal on it. So, yeah. Let's get this to go up as much as we can. How much does it cost for a temple? 200. Oh, it's 400. We're missing 200. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. That's fine. Is there any... What happens if I click this? It just shows you the house. Okay. I was wondering if it showed you any details about the feud, but it doesn't. Also, war against the tyranny of King Salomon of Hungary. Apparently my liege is in. Is that right? Is it my liege or is it my top level liege? I think it might be you. Yeah. Okay, so the Holy Roman Emperor is in this one. On the side of Hungary. Alright. And they are unsurprisingly winning. Although not by as much as you would think. Okay. Cool. Cool. Right. Tutor has educated a child. So that's just a random person in my court. Yes, wet nurse is not an eligible position for us right now. Cool. That's all I needed to check. Betrothed can marry. So that's Eckhard can marry Rimmel. Okay, we'll send that one across. It's another alliance for us, technically. Now, yeah, all of my children are married. Yeah, fantastic. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take off anyone here who we don't have longer term connections to. So we have a connection to you. Nothing to you, so we're going to ditch you for now then. Nothing to you. That's my son, nephew. Nephew unmarried. We should probably marry off this nephew. You, Bratislav, we're still actively friends and cousins of these ones, and in Kuno as well. Okay. So yeah, we should probably marry off our nephew. Burchard. Let's see if we can find anyone. There's nobody with the default stuff I had in here. That's because we can't get an alliance through him, I think. Okay. Let's do age difference of 10. And I don't know, somebody is going to give you a lot of prestige. Let's see there. Everybody. Okay. Not a ruler? That limited nobody. An inheritable trait? Okay. And then maybe sort by age. Okay. So, yeah, there's really nobody younger. Interesting. Alright. I guess you're going to marry this beautiful person. That seems reasonable for you. Right, let's do it. Right. Unpause. They're still doing their war over there. And we have a new child of my dynasty. So, this is my niece Agnes. Alright. Cool. And with that, I think we're going to end the episode there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.